Hello everybody, I am Big. Today in this video I'm going to do a hair walkthrough of how I do hair. Now I have a few things set up and everything else. This will be most helpful if you have already looked through the hair walkthrough I have written up previous of this, so you can understand how I do hair and how half the things I'm doing here. And it just makes it easier for everybody than me making a long video explaining everything. Now, I'll put a link in the description below for that. But here are some colors that I already have all prepped up for us to do. Alright, so the first thing you want to do, I have this, I didn't line these inside. These are already off of Google. Drago or DragoArt.com is a great source for how to draw or step-by-step drawing that they do. I'll put a link in the description below, but otherwise it's a simple typing click to get to. This one image that I just got off Google is another example. Now, how do you select without actually lining them yourselves? You put the layer with the hair and everything, or whatever you're doing, the line art. It has to be like actual line art, otherwise it could probably look super weird. But you put it on the mode multi-layer, or multiplier, or whatever you want to call it. And it should copy any color you have under there. And just like, if I put this back to normal, you won't see it. But multi will show the colors underneath the layer. It won't go above and everything else. It will also show the lines and everything. You could do it above, but you're going to have to redo the lines. So I don't see the point of that if you want to like do a fast sketch or a fast line art. Alright, so I already have a preset colors here for most of the things, like most of the colors that get used most of the time. I have found out that it's really nice to have a dark color and a light color of the same exact color, but just one or the, like having both is nice on certain colors. I'll get that to a little bit later, but we'll start with red. I do everything in layers. I do everything in folders. As you already see, I have made a folder, which is you just click the new folder, it will pop up, and then you can click a new layer and it will pop in right there. You can also make another folder in the folder and everything else too. What the folder does, it would actually work as a layer. So if I have, let's say, a drawing, I'm just going to draw a circle, and then I do a new layer and I draw another drawing over here, and then just close that. As long as in this file, it will count as one layer, even though they're two separate layers in it normally. So that's what I like about the folders and everything else, because it pretty much saves you a step. If you don't like merging everything and have to redo everything like I do, then the folders really help. But Side does have a limit on like layers, so just be careful if you end up having 6 to 5 people in a picture and you do everything in layers, that you're going to have to merge something somewhere eventually, because Side won't let you make more layers. I will tell you that too. So, alright. So, now we just established that. What I like to do is just color. If you will line everything yourself, which I have another step through that it will show everything, how to line inside, how I line inside. I use the line work layer, and my walkthrough will show you all that and everything else too. So, but it's easier if you have a line art or did the lines yourself because of selecting. If you don't want to go around and trying to erase everything yourself or color in between the lines, then it's really an easy step just to go boom, boom, boom. So what I just did is that I colored on the base, which is down here, and then I took the wand tool and I select the area. I went back on the multi-layer with the line art. I went back and selected around the area I did not want the color. So obviously we're doing hair, so I did everything but the hair. Alright, and then I went back and I erased it all. And then just, after you're done, you press Control D and it will just deselect everything that you have select. Now, this wand tool is not always perfect, so you're going to sometimes have to go in and work on like the corners of things. This probably doesn't have to be perfect because it's a tutorial, but I'll just show you just so you know, so you won't be surprised if it like doesn't select everything. Why did it like erase everything? But I feel like it does save you the extra work than trying to color everything and then like color between the lines and everything else. Alright, now once you have that, I started with the darker color if you did not realize. Once you have the base layer, what I like to do is I'll make a new layer. As I said, layers are my best friend. And you clip the group. Now what the clipping group means is that I'll go to the layer color. If I color, it will only show what the base layer or what the layer is underneath it. It will stay in that format. So if I unclick it, it will go everywhere. So it's just a nice cleaner way to keep everything in line and pretty much saves you the step of having to erase every single thing all the time. So what I would like to do first is that I like to draw my guidelines. I like to actually get down there and draw where the hair will be. And if you are not familiarized with my style, I do a little bit more realistic hair. So I'll go with brush, and I usually do a smaller one. I'll go make a new layer as we spoke before. I'll put on multi-layer. Even though it's a darker color, I'll still be on the darker color. And some people pick their colors, and that's totally okay. I color in modes, and some artists don't like that, but this is how I always done it. It's really helpful to me. But we pick a multi, go on the darker layer, multi, and we just, hair always has to come somewhere. It's always one point that it comes from. If you ever notice on a normal head, hair comes usually apart in one way. Whether it be in the middle, whether it be not in the middle, it always gets pulled usually one direction. So what I have, this is pretty short hair, so it's not going to be a lot of lines or anything. So alright, so I'll just keep that, and sometimes if it's like a big space like right here, I'll add an extra one in the middle just to add define. And sometimes you can add like lines over here if you wanted to, but most of the time that would be more drawn in when we get to other steps. Alright, now we go back to the base layer, and I do another new layer. And this one's already clicked because it's between the two, so it clicked automatically. But this is when I do the super, super dark areas. Still on the dark color with a little bit bigger brush. I'll just go where all the hair is pulling from. So where the hair is getting pulled from, so right here in the middle. I'm actually going to make my brush a little bit smaller. And I usually go around the hair. And don't worry if you have to feel like you have to undo, redo, undo. Like, hair is just one of those hard things that, you know, it's not going to be perfect right away. So, like, behind here will be darker because of, like, being behind the head. And the good thing about knowing how to draw hair is knowing where your darkness are. Like, darkness and lights are. which is I talk about that on my walkthrough on my other one. So I recommend to go again to go to that one and look at that because I have a few links that show like where the darkness would be. If you don't understand where the darkness would be, then it's pretty much when you're looking if there's a tree and a sun. The tree facing the sun will be lighter than the tree side facing away from the sun, and then having the shadow cast. So that's pretty much how it kind of goes. I mean, the closest to you should be the lightest. So this hair is like on the head, so it should be brown. So it's going to have like lights and darks. Alright, and then I like to blur things. I have a smudge tool that I made myself, but usually I will give you a blur, usually with your blur it should be okay. But I prefer blurring just because I don't like the harsh lines, and it only takes a couple of strokes. And I just kind of smooth everything out together. For the first layer, the one with the darkest areas, I forgot, this should be dark also behind the ear, because obviously going behind something. I just kind of blur up and down as if the hair is flowing. That's the best way you can do it, and that's like pretty much what makes hair realistic. It's not much, but you can kind of see the hair forming just having that. And because it's like face view, that like the outside of these, you can also go around and do like the edges of the hair if you want to. It kind of depends on the picture for me, but it's pretty much, it's showing where the hair is. Alright, next layer. This will be your third layer now, and that will be above everything, the first two layers that we already did. Again, a multi-layer. I go to my pen tool, and depending on the size of the picture, or depending on the brush size that I will use, this seems like a good one. So I'm on 9. So what we're going to do with this one, and we're going to go from the top and work our way down. You don't want to make it all full, like you don't want to go all the way down, but it's just small strokes, and you want to make sure you're keeping the flow of the hair. That will be the best. Kind of go down. If the bang is longer, you can go longer strokes, but you don't want to go all the way down. That's the thing. Now if you get the top, now you go from the bottom. And again, you don't want to connect them. You just want to do small strokes along the hair. It's always important to keep the flow of the hair. That's the most important thing. And with like these down here, you just kind of do some both ways. These smaller ones are kind of a little bit hard, but because they're so dark anyway, that they probably won't matter. Like right here, you can do it from starting from here. You can also do pulling some from behind the ear. It's pretty much the darkest areas. Like you want to start from the darkest areas going to the light. Alright. As you can see, you can kind of see the hair forming. As I said, I really like blurring things just because I think they look a little bit nicer. But the pen tool kind of does that for you as well, depending on the hair color you choose. Because it does show that nice soft edge instead of doing a really hard edge. Alright, our fourth layer now, still on the dark layer, multi-layer. We'll do what I like to do I found easiest. Instead of trying to figure out what brush size I do next, I'll just go down the line. So I'll just skip the 4. So it's pretty much going and splitting everything in half. Now, I am using a tablet if that's not already obvious, but if you are trying to do hair and you don't have a tablet, the easiest thing to do, and what most people do, is pretty much the bigger the brush size, the darker it is. And you work your way down with every lightness you do. So if you do 5 layers, the darkest will be, let's say, 50. The next layer will be 20. Next layer will be 10. And then the layer after that will be 4. And then the last layer will be 2. And that way you'll get that hair, that more real hair that you feel and that you see that most people do. That's the easiest way I can describe it. And yes, it's easier with a tablet because you can do your strokes better, but it is not impossible without a tablet. You can do it without a tablet. Like, it just takes a little bit more effort, that's all. But really, you gotta know where your lights are, you gotta know where your darks are, you gotta know what, kind of get a feel of what program you're using to be able to do that. Alright, back to the drawing. Alright, so with this smaller brush, pretty much doing the same thing, but only going more, you're connecting the lines a little bit more. You're going through, you'll have to add tons of lines. You're pretty much going down and adding strands of the hair. And like, make sure you always keep the flow of the hair. Make sure you always start from the darkest. And like stuff from right here, you can go over the line to make it a little bit more feel. You don't have to connect them all the time. And you go up. Kind of go down here. Sorry about that. And down here too, you know, sometimes you see that you actually notice that if you miss a spot on erasing. So, and like, it doesn't take much. It just takes the little small things, and you're pretty much done. You don't have to be super, make all of these lines. I know some people that take forever out here because they do so many strokes, but you honestly do not have to. And if you feel like this area is too open for you, you can like take a couple and like kind of move it down. This little piece of hair. So, as you can see, it's starting to really look like hair. Or it's just showing, to me it feels like it looks like hair right away after I do the first 2 layers. Okay, like what I like to do is that I could like usually blur the top because they're usually, sometimes they're really dark and they kind of look all weird and everything. So I just kind of go down and it just makes it softer. I don't really like harsh lines, that's just my opinion. Alright, so the 5th layer is when we switch to scene or screen. I don't know why I say scene all the time. When you switch to screen, my bad, you switch to the layer color that we had picked out that, you know, most people probably already forgotten by now. How I do my light and dark is pretty much screen will be light and multi-layer would be dark. And then sometimes I do luminosity, I'm not good at words, so I usually just say lumini or whatever. This one I usually do brightest, and I'll get to that in a moment. Alright, so now we're back on the pen tool still, and we go down to 2. Now this one I usually get really close because I feel like the closer you are, the little more strokes you'll do. Otherwise, if you do them like too long, it might look a little bit weird because all you're really trying to focus on is like the area that you haven't yet to color in yet. And you know, just kind of do, you don't have to do a lot, and you can do some like up here too. And because of that mode that we're using, that it won't be too dark, it won't be too light, it will pretty much work with what color it's filling on. So it would still get that layer effect of like, it's darker up there, so it'll be darker than what's layer down here. And it's okay if they touch, it's okay if they like go in, it's okay if you go down to more of the darker layer. It just shows the hair. It shows the finer hair that are sticking out the most. And most of the time they won't have a lot down here, but I still add some just to have it be diverse and look like there's a few hair strands down there. Because this is just like the finer hair strands. You can add some right here. And you can even add some like going all the way down to the bottom and everything else. It's totally what you think looks okay and what doesn't look okay. And you can do, with the tablet, this is what's nice about it, is that I can add, with the pressure sensitivity, I can add these lighter lines without having it push super hard. Now with someone without a tablet, it would take them twice as long because they gotta blur that down and then pretty much do the pressure themselves. So that's why it's a little bit easier with a tablet. So once you have that, you'll, I always blur it. I always do it like that. I don't know. I just prefer it that way. Alright. So that's pretty much how the hair will look. Now, I add a shine to my style, which is where the Limi comes from. I'll just call it Limi. And then we're still with the lighter color. I'll go to the pencil tool, and I'll do a smaller size. The shine is pretty much where the hair stands out the most. So probably around the head, and sometimes I'll do some like down here, like the sides of the face and everything, those are all sticking out. It would not be behind the hair, so I'm not going to do anything down here. But I do it like that. I just take one little line. It doesn't matter. Some people do it like, some people I know kind of do like a scribble, like that. There's like, some people kind of just do what I did before and then just take an eraser and kind of like, that's not my eraser, kind of just do like chunks missing out of it and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty much whatever you like. Some people use flat out white for shine. I just use this because I think the shade looks cool once I shade it. So once I blur it, like once that's down, I'll take my smudge tool. I'll usually blur one half of it, just a half of side, so I still keep that fine line. I usually go for the bottom one because usually that's like exactly where I want the main shine to be. And just kind of like that, and put it all together. Now I'll take a smaller brush and I'll do it up here. And just kind of, the main thing, go up and down with the hair and everything else. You could do really fine stuff where the lines will, that line will pretty much disappear in. You can do bits and pieces here and there. Once you got it all done, sometimes I lower it just because face, it's honestly everything with editing and art in general. It's everything you feel looks right. If it doesn't look right to you, find a way to make it look right to you. Ask questions, ask maybe a different way to do things. Don't be afraid to say, okay, well this is wrong because it doesn't look like this person's. It is not wrong. It's whatever you think looks right. And if it doesn't look right to you, find a way to make it look right to you. That's how you find your style. Alright, and then, so that would be hair. The last thing I would do, in general, I would go above the line layer, and usually on the darker color, I'll go on the pencil tool and I'll draw hair. That's a little bit too big for me still. I'll kind of draw bits and pieces of the hair. I'm not getting that. Like, I don't know. I mean, some people do this, some people don't. But I feel like, you know, it just kind of shows more strands of the hair. And this is also nice with the tablet too, because, you know, if you would be able to really do this, it's probably not that easy without a tablet. Or without actually doing it, because it may take you forever, it may, you know, be super hard. I haven't used I haven't been without my tablet for years now. I mean, I remember the struggle I had on GIMP to do everything, and I blurred for hours to do hair and everything else. Like, I remember, I have been there. I know what you're going through if you do not have a tablet, but don't make it feel like you have to get a tablet to get better. The only reason I would advise you on getting a tablet if you want to do art normally. Do not do it. Just don't get it just for editing. Because how long are you going to edit over someone's work? You're honestly probably going to end up depressed because you're going to be like, I wish I could do this on my own. I wish I wouldn't have to do this. I still edit, but also with me coloring, I enjoy coloring with my tablet. I enjoy making add-ons with things. I also still have my artist side because I can change things to where I want it and everything else. So I'm still seeing both sides, but I still like to help other people to get to that point too, because we all start off somewhere. Okay, nothing with the mushy stuff. Alright, this will be a complete set of hair. This will be me being done with my hair. It probably looks straight to some, maybe not what you're wanting, but this is probably how my hair will be. Now, I am going to stop this for now. I'm going to do the other hair colors if you would like to watch those as well in different videos. So each color will be a different video. I'll link them all down in the description below on Facebook, wherever you see this and everything else. So I hope you had a nice time watching. I hope this is really helpful for you. If you have any other questions, please just ask. I will take the time to actually teach you things. This is just an easy way to actually get your foot in the door to understand what I do. So when I actually do step up to you and talk to you about it, you know what's going on. And so I really hope this helped. I really hope you feel better about doing hair. If you have any questions inside, comments, anything, things you want to see, please just let me know. All you gotta do is ask. My name is Bint Escape on Facebook. It will be in my group. People will pass you to me. Anything else. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Keep on shining. And don't always remember that the stars cannot shine without the darkness behind them. Have a nice day. Bye.